All right, everybody, welcome to the Studying Brew 856 on this beautiful Valentine's night. Oh my goodness. So we're so happy to have all of you here because I know there's other places you could be right now, but you decided to be here with us. And I'm going to say, what a wise choice. What a wise choice.
I agree.
Valentine's Day can happen any day, to be honest with you. That's how I look at it. It's going to happen any day. It doesn't have to happen on the 14th. Hey, if you make it any day, I'm guaranteeing you're going to have a much happier marriage.
That is very true. It's
Because you don't need once a year.
nah,
If you need once a year,
to celebrate love.
yeah, I don't know. That's rough. I like to make it anytime I can. You know what I mean? Makes everything better.
We don't let Hallmark dictate.
Nah, not exactly. You got goals, we got goals. Let's do them together. Tonight, we are going to have a great night because we're going to go over content.
Yes.
We're going to have some Q&A. We have a question that was left that was pretty good on the Discord.
Yes.
I guess it's going to remain anonymous, but it feeds into some content. So we're going to do that tonight. But first off, your navigators of this night of love and learning my name is Andy. I am the guy that is going to help guide this love boat all the way into shore. Or into the dock, whatever. I don't know how it goes on boats. I can't get on a boat. I'm not gonna be honest with you. I get sick. Anyways, I don't know why I thought of the love boat. Anyways, all right, everybody. My name is Andy.
Love.
Yeah, my name is Andy. I am the guy that answers all those phone calls and tries to think of clever ways to open up this thing. But you're not here for me. You're here for Brandy. She's got her Series 6, 63, 26. And her Series 65 and 7, right? Yeah. I don't know. I think I got thrown off there with your punching in the air. Anyways.
I was knocking them out.
She's got more finger points than Isaac from the Love Boat. That's a solid reference if you ever watched it.
The guy that had the one.
That was Isaac.
And then they had the guy that had the two.
Oh. What was that guy? The first mate? Anyways, we'll talk about this later. Anyways, what was the name of the captain?
Stubing.
Yes, Captain Stubing.
I know that from Ace.
But those socks, though, you know what I mean? Those socks are something else. All right, everybody, let's get this show on the road. We're so happy. We had some people that that reached out and they have some studying, let's say some studying issues. They want to know what they can do to raise those scores, and things aren't sticking and things, aren't working out. And guys, and I think part of the problem is the pressure of the exam. Sometimes we add so much pressure to our own selves when we need to get it done, or we have a date or whatever. And some of y'all get a lot of anxiety over it.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of anxiety. Let me tell you, that anxiety doesn't do anybody any good. And you know this. I don't need to tell you this. And you're just like, Andy, I know, I'm trying, but I just get stressed out. Look, that's something you got to work out, and you got to just realize that you got to just rely on the work you've been doing, and you got to breathe through it.
Yeah.
You got to breathe through it. There's a lot of things, and a lot of people tell you how to deal with anxiety, and there's some people have a real medical issue. We even had a pastor who really had to go see their doctor about it because it was a little bit out of control.
Mm-hmm.
But look, if you're one of those people, don't be afraid to reach out and go even talk to your doctor if it's that bad, or if you feel like it's a panic attack almost. Sometimes you really do have to seek medical advice. None of these exams are worth having a heart attack over.
No, they're not. They're really, really not. And sometimes we're able to convince ourselves out of it, and sometimes we're not. And you definitely need to know the difference.
But I will say this, where your mind goes is where your body will follow.
Yes, definitely.
So if your mind is going there, your body will have those ailments, your body will follow, you will feel all those things. And I'm not saying it ain't real. It's real.
Oh, it's definitely real.
It's definitely real. But you can get yourself some help, and you can definitely work on, slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
Take the pressure off yourself. Some people do well with the test date or an exam date.
Yes.
And some people don't do good at all.
No.
They don't do good at all. If they know that it's coming, they're just like, oh, like they already start stressing out.
Like you guys might be like, we call it averagely passing, right? Every time you take a full quiz, you're around that 70%. But then as soon as you recognize that the date's around the corner or the test is scheduled, those scores start dropping.
Right. And then there's another person or another thing that plagues a lot of people is they'll score really good on a quiz. They'll get like a 70, they'll get an 80, they'll score, high 60s. And then all of a sudden the next one's like a 40. And then they're like, "Oh, what happened? The whole floor fell out. Like I was doing so good. I had great momentum. And then all of a sudden I'm scoring a 40 and now I'm just questioning if I know anything." And I know there's a few people on here that are shaking their heads like that. They're like, "Yeah, I've gotten some great scores." You gotta like hold on to that great score. What would you say, Brandy?
Well, a lot of times I ask the question, right? What was the 70 in and what was the 40 in? Because first of all, topic to topic, your score will change, right? But then also, was it a 10 question? Was it a full quiz? Which one was which? The other thing you guys got to look at too is, was I distracted? Was I focused? Was there stuff going on?
My
Was I
environment.
yeah, your environment. Guys, all of those things go into a quiz. So you have to be aware of it and you have to really be a student of you. Like, guys, I used to, Kaplan, you can name your quizzes. So I used to go in there and go at dinner, during a meeting, sorry, RVPs, during a meeting, right? I would say that focused 10 question, like 10 Q in stock, 10 Q in options. Like, guys, I really started naming my quizzes. So when I was looking at that big old long list, I knew exactly what I should do. This is what's going to happen if it's distracted. This is what's going to happen if it's focused. This is what happens when it's late at night. This is what happens when it's in the morning. Guys, you got to be a student of you.
I mean, and some of you have been in the military. The military tests you on so many different scenarios just like that,
Hmm.
right? They test you under pressure, they test you when it's calm, they test you, all under different types of all types of
Conditions.
different conditions, right?
Hmm.
But I'm just gonna say this, guys, it's so many times you rush through the dang second one. Like you did great on the first one. You're so happy and excited. The next one, you can't wait to rip right into it. And guess what? You start making some of the mistakes you didn't do on the first one.
Yes.
You started going a little too fast. You get a little too anxious. You get a little too cocky. You get a little like, anticipatory. You aren't reading like you should. You're not doing the techniques. You get a little, there's a lot of things that we do just as humans. And you got to take note of these things and then tell yourself, okay, that I need to stop that. It's a process, guys. And not all the time is it just content related. And I'm going to say this, if you've scored over a 70% once, content is there.
Yep.
If you took a full exam and you scored 70 to 80%, right, already, content's done.
Mhm.
Content's done. You know enough content to go take the dang test, to be honest with you. But what we have to do is now we have to just be consistent with the way we do it.
Yes.
Does that make sense? We need to get down the road consistently with that. And sometimes the pressure of that throws us off.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes thinking about that throws us off. It is such a mental game.
So mental.
Why do you think I'm constantly telling you guys mental toughness and talking all this mental stuff? It is so mental. It's more mental than anything.
Yes.
You got to control that positive mental attitude. You got to slow down, and you got to be so consistent with your actions and the way you do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the best way I can say it. And then if you get a bad score, you got to be a pitcher in the Major League Baseball who just let somebody just hit a home run off you. You got to shake it off. You got to say, you know what? The next batter's different. I'm just going to go at it and then it's a new day. You know what I mean? You got to shake it off. You got to have the memory of a goldfish, as they say, right? You just forget it. You move on.
Yep.
And and that's just it. It's just all mental at that point. But if you can score over 70 or 80 once, you can do it again and again and again, and you can probably pass.
Yep.
I'm going to say that. But you got to have that confidence and you got to have the courage. And you definitely got to take the pressure off yourself. It's all mental at that point.
Mhm.
It's all mental. John just gave me the thumbs up.
Yep.
So with that, with John's approval, let's move on. All right, everybody. we are going to go ahead and share the screen here. We're going to let you guys know if you want to join in on the Academy, the 21-day plan. You want to get on the small videos we got for extra help, all that great stuff. We got the Kona Discord, the community where we got our question from earlier. We also have the study guides available, SIE 663. The SIE is off the hook.
Yeah, it is.
I know there's an error on one of the links. We're going to fix it.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal if you're a member.
No, it's not.
And you guys probably didn't even know it was an error. So, but if you run across it, I'm not going to put it out there because everybody's going to want the link. But I'm just going to say, if you have an error, you let us know. We're going to be updating it or whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
The study guide's great, but that does have video explanations, and then sometimes human error. But for the most part, it's golden. It's solid.
It's good.
It's solid.
Yes.
I'm like, we sold so many, and then there's like one person catches that one typo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, Kona Academy, we got our guided course over you can do it over 30 days. You got 21-day plan. We got all this stuff. All right, scan the QR code, hit the links in the chat, 951-290-3077. That's where you can reach me at. We're also on Telegram, and I hope you guys check us out on the Insta.
Yes.
All right, tomorrow we do have this going on. We do have the Academy, like I was talking about. SIE, we are going over. I know I did this to you, huh?
Packaged securities.
Package security.
Yeah, because we just did options.
Yeah, and then I think something to do with suitability on the Series 6.
6 is suitability.
Yeah.
And
63 is ethics again.
Yep, we're wrapping up ethics.
Yeah, you got investment companies, mutual fund characteristics, suitability of mutual funds for the Series 6.
Yes.
So we got an action-packed week.
Yeah, we do.
Got action-packed week.
Action-packed.
So join in on that if you're in the Academy. And if you're doing the 21-day plan in one of those sessions you want to sit in, you can go ahead and do that as well. And you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's get this thing going.
Yes.
All right, we got the Discord Wednesday on this beautiful, Discord Wednesday and then content. So Brandon's going to teach some stuff tonight. We got a great question left on the Discord for one of our studiers. That's going to lead us into some great content. So what is it tonight, Brandy?
So tonight, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to approach a question with technique, right? We're going to approach a question with technique because, guys, as great and amazing as Kona content is, you will inevitably run across an answer choice that you've never seen before. As great as we are to try to catch every tiny little topic, you may run across something that you have not seen, whether that's in a quiz question, maybe it's on the exam, because I don't know if you guys know this, but every exam has 5 to 10 questions that are not graded. It's like FINRA is testing test questions, right? And to see how they work, to see how they go. So sometimes you're going to see something so random and you're going to be like, what the heck was that? I don't remember seeing that. Guys, don't stress, right? Especially on the SIE, there's 10 extra questions on there, right? So relax. That being said, we want it so that way when you guys see something that maybe you don't recognize in an answer choice, that anxiety level is not high because you're like, you know what?
I have a way to work through this.
I got this, right?
I have a way to work through this.
Exactly. So we're going to go technique first and then we'll go content second, okay?
It's like I was saying with the military, right? You guys are tested on so many different scenarios. Okay, if this happened, this happened. This show you how to adapt and overcome.
Yes, exactly. So obviously, guys, you see the answer, right? But let's ignore the answer. Now, the person that sent me this question said this. I don't remember seeing that answer. Okay, which is fine. I get it, right? Probably not tested in the SIE anyways, but let's go, right? So I see over the counter. We know that as OTC. We know exchanges. I think of the New York Stock Exchange, right? Third market. I might even do this, huh? Right?
Exchanges, I always think of just two people or people just like trading.
Yeah, exactly. And then D, dark pools of liquidity. And I'm going to say, I have never heard of that. NHO, never heard of, right? So let's go to the question. The question says, institutional trading desk that place trades away from visible markets. I don't know about you guys, but hold on. In order to avoid impacting public quotes. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but that seems like we're keeping that in the dark.
Yeah. And that's how I would have gone for it. I would have said in the dark, not visible, right? Nighttime, right?
Right.
That's it. I don't know why or what it is. I don't care. I'm picking dark pools of liquidity just because it just makes sense to me that
Right.
that would be it.
And that, guys, this is like what we do on Mondays, is that we focus on keywords to get to the right answer. And I'm about to see. Well, yeah.
You don't have to announce it.
No, it's like, okay.
Nope. Good.
Yep.
All right.
That was a weird sneeze. Okay, I'm good now.
Sorry, let me put my hand on the cough button or sneeze button here.
No, I'm good now. That was like the weirdest sneeze I've ever had. Okay. So let's focus on so let's take this concept. So right. So if you guys are on our Mondays, right, when we play the Kona catchphrase, the whole point of the Kona catchphrase is to see past content, see past words that have securities meaning and use them for the real world. This is a perfect example of what we do on Mondays. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So let's talk about what this means. The third market, these dark pools, the over the counter, the exchanges. Guys, these are things that you learn in the SIE. You need to know them for pretty much every exam going forward. So,
Dark pools.
I'm gonna link that in.
You know where I heard the dark pools for the first time is when they were explaining how Robinhood works. But anyways, go ahead, continue.
This is why.
What?
This question actually tells you why they're called dark pools. Because guys, if you knew that, okay, let's take this. If you had limited knowledge of how this industry works, of how the markets work,
Which we all are.
which we all do, right? As a normal retail investor, this is not my job, right?
Right.
So if all of a sudden I'm on my online broker, because I'm not working with a registered rep at that point, I'm literally on my own. I'm on my online broker.
Yeah.
And I'm watching my favorite company stock, right? And all of
Yeah.
a sudden I see the price start going up, 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 up. And I go, oh, I better jump in on this. And
Right.
I buy it.
Yeah. I watched Mad Money Steve.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to say his name.
What
I know
we
the right name.
But what we didn't know is that BlackRock, a huge investment company, just bought 1 million shares of that particular company's stock for their mutual fund that they own.
What's going to happen to everybody?
You see what I'm saying? Like, that would be really
It could sway the market.
for no reason.
And then that actually gives that company sway in the market.
Right.
They can do a lot of bad things.
And so this isn't to hide it from the public.
I'm not saying that particular investment company does bad things.
Right. No. But these things, these dark pools of liquidity, these aren't meant to like keep things secret from the markets. It's because what they do, guys, what large institutional investors do, these investment companies, these mutual funds, these hedge funds, we don't need to know about it. They do so many different things over there for different reasons. And the retail investor, the me's and you's of the worlds, we don't look at those things. We invest emotionally.
Right. Just like last Sunday, there's a lot of fans that all of a sudden are Kansas City fans. They don't even watch football. They just go on it because of they're just they're on the emotional ride.
That's right. They're on the emotional ride. All right. So let's talk about this, right? So the first thing we're going to talk about real quick is the primary market, right? So when we talk about the primary market, guys, we're literally talking about it coming from the issuer, right? So we like to say here that the issuer benefits from the sell, right? We know this as usually the IPO, the initial public offering, right? Dun, 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 dun. Burr, 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 burr. Sorry. I said it way faster than I can write it. And
That's
then,
okay. You provided the soundtrack.
yeah, you got to, right? And then the secondary market is everything else, pretty much. It's the best way to say it, right? This is when investors are trading amongst investors. Investors. Should I say trade with each other? That's probably better.
Talk amongst yourselves. Trade amongst yourselves.
Yeah, that's literally it. So That's the secondary market. Everything that happens without the issuer or the issuer, like guys, if you go onto your online brokerage right now, right, and you buy ABC Corporation stock, guess what? You're not buying it from ABC.
No.
You're buying it from another investor or multiple investors, depending on how many you're buying.
Right.
Right? It's almost like no, never mind. I get
People are just like, what? Keep it simple.
keep it simple, right? So part of the secondary market, we have the third and fourth markets, right? Dun, 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 dun. So the third market is when we sell listed securities over the counter. It's like I mean, I can't think of an example of why we would do that. Um, OTC or over the counter. So things that are easily, oh, I got this. I got this. This means I'm going from, do you guys know what brokers are? Brokers are like the middleman, right? I got person A, I got person B, the broker's in the middle, brokering the deal, right? You come through me.
It's kind of like when you buy a house.
Yes.
One person's buying it, right? They go through an agent. The agent's the one that talks to the person that's selling it. The selling person talks to the agent and then talks to the buyer, right? You don't really go in front of the buyer and say, "Oh, I'm going to buy it from you."
Right. And so when things are listed, this means that they're on an exchange. Okay. Over the counter is when I'm actually going through dealers. So relate over the counter with dealers, relate this with car dealerships or inventories.
Or your local corner dealer.
Yeah, basically, your local dealer says, opens his jacket pocket and goes,
What do you need?
"You want one of these?" Right? But that's it. He's got his inventory in his trench coat in the
Right.
middle of summer.
Yeah.
So bad. Right?
We've seen them.
Yes, we have.
We've seen it.
Right? Okay, so that's the third market. And the fourth market is this dark pools market.
Got Louis Vuitton watches, Louis Vuitton wallets, and you know, all kinds of stuff in his coat, right?
Yes,
They're
exactly.
those are legit, I'm sure.
Okay, so guys, this terminology of the dark pools is not usually seen in the SIE.
That's why I said I heard it on the explanation of how Robinhood works,
Yeah.
and that's why I heard it more leaning towards the Series 7.
Yeah, you see it in the 7 and the 65, right? This idea of dark pools. But basically what happens, guys, is that institutional investors, so you're talking, banks, those investment companies, right? You're talking thousands of millions of shares in one transaction, right? So institutional investors trade with each other without without usually a broker dealer. Right? Because 'Cause they're like, "Dude, I got this, bro. I don't need you.
Yeah,
We're good."
they're like at the bank and they go to the bottom of the basement. They're
Yeah.
in like this dark area, and they're like, "Yo, what do you got?"
So we've been calling it in the SIE, we've been calling it the fourth market, right? And you guys might see that they trade on the ECNs, which is the electronic network communication thing. So it's like you've seen this, but you have I totally
I've seen it in movies when they go, "Wire me some money."
electronic.
Right? We've seen that like that in the movies, right?
Yeah.
There's a dude, looks like Eric sitting at a computer, and he's like typing away on his little
And it's
computer.
always a dark screen with green or light blue fonts,
Yeah.
and they're just typing away.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
there you go. There's that ECN. So guys, like I said, this is stuff that you kind of need to know. You get introduced to it on the SIE. It's assumed you know it going forward on all of the other exams. Um, the fourth market is how it's referred to in the, let me say this, how it's referred to in the SIE outline from FINRA. It's referred to as the fourth market, and you don't usually hear it called a dark pool until you hit the 65 or maybe the 7.
So I'm gonna give you guys a little heads up. So this particular question comes from Kaplan,
Yes.
but it doesn't matter what QBank you're using. All QBank writers kind of do the same thing. They put 65 or Series 7 questions that not necessarily will be on the SIE in the SIE QBank, just because they know that there is 65 and 7 questions in there, but they kind of the filter's a little big.
Eh.
and they just kind of dump stuff in there that might necessarily be on there like that.
Yeah,
So don't trip. It's just like there was an error. They let one slide in there that you might not really see.
exactly. Exactly.
So when you see something like that, that's why the Discord is so helpful. You put it up there. Brandy goes, "This is how you do it with technique." But in the end, don't worry about it.
And if you guys notice, can you guys imagine, much like this show that Andy is referring to that he saw it on, they could twist things so bad because doesn't dark pool sound negative?
Mm-hmm.
Like, doesn't it sound like the what is it called? Like the dark, what do they call it? The black market, the dark
Yeah.
internet, or whatever they call
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
right? Doesn't it sound like something like that?
Right.
Because it's not.
It sounds like shady
Bad.
things are done out of the public's eye. That's just not.
On purpose.
Yeah, and people are like, "That's not transparent. We should see everything they're doing."
Yeah, guys, trust me, you don't want to see everything that these large institutional investors do. You don't understand it.
If
I don't understand.
well, if 2020 taught me one thing, and this is the one thing that I learned, is not all information is for everyone.
No.
Take that as you want it.
Correct.
Just sometimes just all information isn't good for everyone.
Right.
And sometimes they have to do these things in the dark just because it's got to save the market and make sure people are not getting swayed just because somebody does it. And you can imagine how an investment company could swing a market in their favor and control things if people knew what they were doing.
Exactly.
And we have to stop that kind of behavior because the retail investor, the normal Joe, the average person, they don't know what they're looking at. They don't even know what's going on. They're just picking stuff just because it looks cool and just because Mad Money Mike said so, or Mad Money Steve, or whoever the heck it is, right? They said it. They're like, "That sounds good. I'm going for it." And that's all they know.
And honestly, guys, I mean, this industry was made to kind of make it so that us registered reps always have a job. Does that make sense? Like, we don't it the it's such a complicated industry. It's like you calling yourself a doctor and you never went to medical school. You know what I mean? "Oh, I know everything because I Googled it."
You went on WebMD and all of a sudden you can do a surgery.
Yeah, it's kinda like that same concept. There's just certain things that the retail investor just shouldn't know.
I'm just saying, if you come at me with a scalpel and you just said I saw how to do it on WebMD,
I was on YouTube. Right?
no, no, thank you, no, thank you. Whatever it is bugging me, I'll just die from that.
Yes. No, wait,
Thanks.
no. Sad.
I'm not getting a WebMD doctor. Get out of here.
So, guys, that is why
Just
the
I have
reas
natural causes at this point.
that is why every single rule that you are learning from the SIE all the way through, every single rule, even if you don't think it does, is meant for us to protect the retail investor so we don't take advantage of them.
There you go. So that sums it all up.
Yes, it
All
does.
right, everybody, that concludes it. But we got Academy tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow night for the Studying Brew. Same bat time, same bat channel. We're going to have content. We're going to have techniques. We're going to wrap up the week with everything that we learned on the brews, all in one nice free session for all of you. I just want to say thank you all for being here. I know I don't want to keep you guys because it is Valentine's Day, but I appreciate all of you staying in the routine and just keeping it going because that is what commitment is all about. That is staying committed to a goal. And I think that's very commendable. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate that so much. And so does Brandy.
Yes, I do.
All right, everybody, stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. And keep that positive mental attitude. PMA, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you guys so much for being on. We super appreciate you guys. Implement the test taking techniques and Kona catchphrases in your quizzes. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.